Hello, this is John Locke, and today I'm answering a great question, which is how can you tell if an expired domain is safe to use? So oftentimes people will buy expired domains that were in use at one point and then somebody let them drop, and they didn't re-register them, and so anybody can go and pick them up. And sometimes people will buy these if they're launching a new site, because they want to have a domain that's already got some age on it. It's already been used, and it might already have some backlinks to it. And I know, in fact, I know in particular a couple people personally that did this for their web design companies. Each of these individuals, and I don't even think that they know each other, but they each picked up a domain that was in use before. It was used by a company, then it dropped, and there was a couple of years where nobody had it, and then they picked it up and then reused it and built a brand new brand out of that domain. Now, some people will buy expired domains, and the reason why they want to use them is they might be using them for another purpose besides their main site. They might be using it as a secondary site, or as a means to build backlinks on a satellite site. They just want to have their main site, and maybe they want to have a couple secondary sites that also have some keyword-rich domain name titles in there. The domain name has keywords in it, basically. An exact match or a partial match domain. You can see our video on exact match and partial match. Because a lot of people feel that those have SEO value. But how do you know if it's safe to use? Because sometimes the reason why a domain got dropped in the first place is it's a poison domain, meaning that people built a bunch of backlinks to it, but they were all shady, spammy, really bad backlinks, and they just blasted them with all kinds of things like SAPE links, GSA links. Go look that up. I'll actually put links down here of what those are. But all kinds of like black hat SEO links. They were basically churn and burn sites. They were there for affiliate marketing or something like that, and they're no good. But when people are picking up these domains, they're just looking, maybe they're looking just at the name, or maybe they're like just doing a quick glance at the backlink profile. They don't know that it's safe. There might still be some kind of penalty on this domain name that they don't know about until they actually launch the site. So here's what I do, or here's what I've done in the past when I'm picking up domains that are expired. Okay. First thing that you want to do, like if you're picking them up on a site like expired.net, where there's a whole bunch of dropped domains, expired domains, they will often have like a backlink total, how many domains are pointing at it, and add the backlink total. But this is often a little bit false. There's often what I will do instead is put that domain into Ahrefs or SEMrush and see if I can see which sites are pointing backlinks at that. And that will often give me a totally different number than what expired.net's number is for picking up domains. So you want to see what kind of sites are pointing and see if you can see what actual links they are. Do these links look overly spammy? Are they just a little bit spammy? Are they like totally spammy? And you can usually discern that just by using common sense. If they're a little spammy, it might be okay. If they're like completely spammy, that might be a red flag. But okay, second thing that I'm looking for is I'm going to go into archive.org, and I'm going to look up the history of this domain that I'm thinking about buying. And you're going to want to look at the history of the site. What did the site look like all the way through its history? What was this site used for all the way through its history? Now, if the site appears to have been a legitimate business that was in use for several years, and then for whatever reason, let's say the owner went out of business, or they went on and did something else, or they died, or whatever it is, they went on to do other things, and the domain dropped, and then it was just dormant for a couple of years. That might be a safe domain to pick up. But if I'm looking at the domain and it looks like it was some sort of content site or a blog or a marketing site, and it had all these articles on it and all these different pages, and then all of a sudden, like one day, it just dropped and it completely just disappeared, that's usually a bad sign. If there's like, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pages of content on this site, and it appeared to be really active, and it appeared like these were being geared toward being landing pages for different things, and then all of a sudden, like one day, just the domains dropped out of nowhere in archive.org, that's usually a bad sign, because that usually means that they were building some sort of devious black hat SEO links to this site, and they got hit with the Google manual penalty, which is when it's not an algorithmic penalty, but it's like when Google employees themselves look at it and they say, this is definitely a link scheme, this is definitely some black hat SEO, and we're going to issue a manual penalty, and we're going to take away all the linking power of the sites linking in, and we're going to take away all the ranking power of this site. So if that appears to be like what happened, then that could be a bad sign, because usually if you have a really active content site, it doesn't just drop out. People just don't abandon it, out of the blue. There's usually a reason. But if that domain passes both of those sniff tests, the next thing that you can do is set up a temporary site with that domain, set up Google Search Console, set up some of the basic pages there, but don't make like your main site on it. Don't go full bore gung ho into building out a full site on this domain yet, because what you want to do is you want to look in Google Search Console and see if a manual penalty appears in the messages there. So if there was a manual penalty or anything like that at some point, you will see it appear in Google Search Console. But if you don't see anything after 3 or 4 weeks, then that domain is probably safe to use for your main site or a secondary site that you're using to promote your services or your products. Well, I hope that answers this question. There's other videos that we've done on domains. There's other videos that we've done on picking up expired domains or changing your domain name. I hope you do check those out. My name's John Locke. My business is Lockdown Design and SEO, and we're here every single day making videos on SEO. I would love to see you subscribe. That's all I have for now. Until next time, peace.